Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, everybody. Really, really good to be here and to see you and to spend time with you on this Friday, wonderful Friday day. Very big Juma Mubarak to all of you. So we're here and we're connecting. Right? It's been a couple of days, right? So what's been going on, right? Well, what's been going on is lots of detoxing, lots of working out, plenty of good, healthy food and all of those things. So it's perfect. It's perfect, right? Perfect, perfect. So we've been going live here on this particular space on the Nature's First Path YouTube page. And this particular live videos are really dedicated to the overall health, healing, and maintenance of everything that we are doing internally for our health. Right? So if we're exercising, if we are practicing nutrition, if we are getting all of our good healthy herbs in, right? We need to really, really make sure that our energy is right and aligned as well, right? We want to make sure that our energy is right and aligned as well. So these discussions are dedicated to that, circling our vital life force. So what we're talking about today is harnessing the power, right? We've talked about getting it, but what about harnessing and keeping it? So this is kind of based off of a piece that was done a few years ago when we were talking about the vital life force. In this particular piece, we're talking about the complete human being. And many of us, we don't become complete because we don't live authentic lifestyles. And when we don't live authentic lifestyle styles, that's where illnesses and issues might come up, right? When we're suppressing our natural fitra, our natural state of who we are, right? And it's that suppression that hampers vital life force activity, right? It's that suppression that weakens immunity. It is that suppression that keeps us up at night, stressing, and not really targeting and reaching our full potential. So we kind of wanted to approach this topic a little bit backwards because I'm going to talk about vital life force core laws in naturopathic medicine. But before we do that, let's talk about some of those things that get in the way of us of harnessing our power. So many times these can come in the way of our conflicts, regular conflict here, there, family, work, at the grocery store, at the gym. These things happen sometimes, and what we're getting at is as much as we can avoid conflict is as much as we can retain and harness our vital life force energy. See what we're saying? So the first key point related to keeping and harnessing that is that not every opinion that we hear or that we have needs a response, right? Not every opinion that we hear or that we have needs an explanation or a response. The more we progress towards true authenticity, true health, True wellness, less has to be said. So when we say less about it, when we don't have to explain much about it, when we're not giving a response each and every time on something, well, that keeps us from getting pulled into conflicts, more or less. And when we find that when we are pulled into conflict, these are where our fight or flight responses start to kick up. Parasympathetic versus sympathetic responses in our nervous system, right? So if those are constantly being flooded and being overrun and being flipped upside down, well, we can only imagine what our immune system might be going through. See what we're saying? But why do these things happen in the first place? Well, these things are happening a lot in the first place is because we've been led to believe, or we've been told, or somehow we feel that we're under the impression that we have to explain everything to everybody, and it's just simply not true. Not every opinion needs a response. Not everything needs to be explained all of the time. So sometimes less of it is more. You protect your energy, you protect your health, and that gives you, right, an opportunity to go forward the next day. We live in the real world. We know that there will be some situations where you cannot get out of explaining something, or you cannot get out of addressing an issue, and that's understood. But one would hope it's not every day, all the time, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, because that hampers vital life force flow and energy. So, as it was stated before in the piece that we talked about, the vital life force, the part three, the true human being. And there's a difference between being fully functionally healthy and being fully vital. We can be alive and exist and just exist, or we can thrive and be vital. And this is what we're talking about: thrive and being vital. Things that bear repeating: nutrition, keeping the healthiest foods in our systems, the most digestive foods in our systems, the most anti inflammatory foods in our systems allows that energy to flow. Are we exercising? Are we moving? Right? What is your bloodstream saying to you right now? Is your bloodstream saying, thank you for the space that you've given me? Or we need to move more because I can't breathe and I can't flow? And then there's mindset, which is what these particular videos have been all about. So understanding our thoughts and perceptions are just part of the naturopathic medicine approach. Good and positive and sustained thoughts, overcoming continuously stimulating negative and bad thoughts, keep our vital life force kicking and growing, ever expanding. Vital life force is not just something that happens once and then it's over. No, this continues and expands further. But then, that being said, everybody, we need the proper rest in our life. What are our sleep habits and patterns telling us? True bodily rest. When we have true rest, we are able to restore and realign with our bodies as well. And we synthesize all of the nutrients, all of the proteins, all of the amino acids so that we can work on our vital life force. Okay. So starting healthy may start off as a trend, or becoming healthy may start off as a trend, but we reach to a level where we decide, is it going to be for life or for a moment? And when we decide that it's going to be for life versus a moment, we realize that we're starting this path towards knowledge of self, towards the path of transcendence, going higher, going above, right? We said it earlier. There's a difference between being functional and vital. Functional is better than being not functional, but vital is being better than functional. It's a spark of life. And this is what was talked about in our book, The Spark of Life. And life has some great laws in naturopathy. And what's the great law? Life's great law. What is it? Well, every living matter in the body seeks self preservation. Then there's the law of action. When an action occurs in the living organism, it must be ascribed to a living thing, i.e., you. You are alive. How are we taking care of that life and manifesting and building? Then there's the law of power. Vital power, essentially, and only and truly comes from within. And then there's the law of selective elimination. All injurious substances are eliminated from the organism, or they try to be eliminated from the organism. And this is where illness is setting. And then there's the law of dual effect. Okay? A secondary effect on the organism is the exact opposite of the first primary effect. But you know what? Then there's the law of special economy. The organism, i.e., you, under favorable conditions, stores up excess vital fluids as a reserve to kick in when you need it. And that's going back to those situations where we can't avoid a situation. There is the law of limitation. Checks and balances will be put upon the necessary expenditure of power. You can't use it all at once. Okay? And then finally, there is the vital law of accommodation, nature's balance wheel. So the response of the organism to our external stimuli, right? Going back to those situations that we don't have to explain, we don't have to get into, we don't have to be pulled into, is instinctive and will adapt to whatever influence it cannot destroy or cannot control. Right? Now, if we want even a deeper, further explanation on this a little bit more, always reach out. You can message me. We can talk about it. So, once again, not every opinion needs a response. So we don't get pulled into conflict. And we have to get rid of that impression that we have to always explain. All we have to do is just be. And anyone who gets it will get it. You will attract those who will reflect that, right? power comes from within. It's not just the food, it's also the mind. It's not just the mind, it's also our spirit. It's not just the spirit, it's how we're resting our body to take that all in. But nothing escapes from those vital laws and life's great law. So, always a pleasure once again connecting with you. Okay? On the Life Force Live. We'll connect again, hopefully very soon, hopefully within the next week. And we'll go deeper into some other topics related to the harnessing and maintaining of your vital life force energy. Dr. Scott here, Nature's First Path, Holistic Medicine, Los Angeles, worldwide. Talk to you soon.